thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm honored.
I'm so honored that you're here. I met you for the first time, I think, with Alex and Mimi Icon.
Yeah.
At the dinner in London.
Yeah.
Intelligent Change dinner.
Yeah.
That was a big moment for me. I actually spoke about that dinner.
Yeah.
Recently because I was sitting next to Mimi and Mimi asked me what I look for in friends and in partners. And I said, good values.
Yeah.
She was like, that doesn't mean anything. Define those values, but not in the person you look for yourself.
Yeah.
And that was like a big growth moment for me, trying to define like all the things I actually value. And
what were they?
It's like a long list. So some of them were time with myself and not feeling the need to socialize too much and be around people too much. Calmity and people who can be calm and be soft-spoken and not like super animated. And I mean that for the positives and the negatives.
Yeah.
Like I don't necessarily need like the roller coaster highs.
Yeah.
I'm down with just like the mellow for the bad and the good.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's one. Respect for family, but not family obsessed either. Because there's a delicate balance between like no family relationships at all, which is not very me, but then also like mother-in-law at the house every day of the week is a bit much. You know?
I feel you.
So some delicate balance there.
But a lot of it as well is so much about like balance and finding that like middle ground. It's so funny you said that about being soft-spoken, because one of the first thoughts I had as you started speaking was like, oh, he's so softly spoken.
Well, thank you.
And then that's what you said you were looking for, which is so nice. And I think that when I met you, I was so, because you have such a like unique persona online, and it's so, the identities of it are so strong. And I was so shocked when I met you because you kind of forget that that is a character and it's a persona. You must get that loads.
Yeah, I get it a lot, which I guess is a good thing because I'm acting and expressing it, you know?
Yeah.
But I think some people don't think it's satire and they think it's a documentary. They think it's like, this is like this person's real life.
Yeah.
Which in some ways has become my real life. You know, I faked it till I made it, and now I'm actually living in many ways the life of this fictional character.
Right.
Which is kind of absurd.
Yeah.
But I'm happy that now I have this outlet. And I can open up and be myself and talk to friends like you.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for being on the Gstaad Guy podcast.
Of course.
Around the world with your host, the Gstaad Guy. We welcome you back to the Gstaad Guy podcast, sharing stories of excellence with those in the know for those who just know.
Roxie Nafousi.
Yeah.
You are an incredible author and manifester. You manifested this into existence. And I would love to dive into all of the different things you've manifested.
Yeah.
And the ways that you have encouraged people who have been through similar struggles, mindsets, and journeys as you to bring their life into reality. I'll admit, I have not read your books end to end.
Yeah.
But I have done some skimming. I'm a serial skimmer.
Oh my God, I'll take the skimming.
I think skimming is better than nothing.
100%.
Right? I skimmed my way through high school.
Yeah.
Skimmed my way through uni.
No, I like it. And I love the honesty. Look, I've given it a skim.
You know, I've been being really honest about recently.
Yeah.
I used to lie to people and say, I read this article recently. When it was just an Instagram, I would just scroll on Instagram and see something. I'd be like, I saw this article. It was never an article. It was always a TikTok or an Instagram. And
no one's read an article since 2020.
Exactly. We all just started on Instagram.
Yeah.
So I'm honest now. So I skimmed.
Yeah.
And what I love is that you have so eloquently defined in your 7 rules of manifestation things that I could never put a label to and actually express, but that I definitely went through. I wouldn't say all 7, I think 4.
Yeah.
4 of them I went through.
Okay, which 4?
Okay, let's do this. I actually wrote them down.
Oh my God. Yeah. Oh, you really did skim.
I did.
I was like, please, you read 1 page.
No. Okay. So Roxie Nafousi's 7 rules of manifestation. Number 1 is be clear in your vision. I think I've always been very clear in my vision.
Yeah.
I had an amazing boss when I worked at Apple. Her name was Ashna.
Right.
And she used to make me make vision boards.
No way.
Not just for my job, for myself. She really believed that if I grew as a person, I'd perform better at work as
Yeah.
well. So she's the best boss of all time.
Yeah.
Shout out, Ashna. And I started making these vision boards every year. Now I've been making them for like 5 or 6 years.
I love that.
And before that, I was a big daydreamer, and I always like would think of what I wanted. So be clear in my vision, I'm there. Remove fear and doubt. I don't have that. I think that fear and doubt actually motivate me in some ways, and they challenge me to improve things. I'm just trying to find the positives here. I could probably do better if I did remove them.
Yeah.
But that's when I can't lie and say that I've removed fear or
Yeah.
doubt. 3, align your behavior. Absolutely. I faked it till I made it.
Yeah.
I have said to some friends before, the version of myself I like the least is when I'm around people I love, like my family and stuff. Then I'm like more easily irritable
Interesting.
and like more impatient. And the version of myself that I love the most
Yeah.
is when I'm like an independent explorer, ideally in a country where I don't speak the language.
Right.
Because I'm extra slow with my words. I'm extra kind, extra cautious of like the culture and the new people, new world around me. And I wish I could be the traveler me with my family. And I'm trying to do that. So I think
Yeah.
I'm aligning my behavior with who I want to be.
I love that.
So I think that's 3.
Yeah.
4, overcome tests from the universe. I try.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I'm like a keep it coming at me sort of guy.
You're not welcoming the
I wouldn't say I'm
challenges.
welcoming the challenges, but if they're there, I'll try. You know, I don't know about that. Like if I get to the airport and I forgot my passport, I will lose it.
Yeah.
You know,
I get it. I get it.
I'm not fully there. Embrace gratitude. I think I'm a very grateful person.
Yeah.
So I'm happy with that. Shout out Alex Icon and the
Oh,
5-minute gratitude journal.
Yeah.
Turn envy into inspiration. Absolutely. I grew up in a house where we're always like touching wood and being inspired by people. And there's never any envy or jealousy in any vocabulary or mindset. So that's never been a thing for me. And 7, trust in the universe. I think so.
Yeah.
I think my biggest ones are clear in the vision, aligning my behavior, embracing gratitude, and turning envy to inspiration. Those are my 4. The ones I could definitely do better at are removing fear and doubt, overcoming tests, and trusting the universe.
Well, I love this because something that I always say is that everybody is always manifesting. They just don't know it.
Yeah.
And I think that if you gave anybody these 7 steps, probably much like you, they could identify things that they're naturally already doing and things that they could improve in. But when it comes to the remove fear and doubt, I mean, that's the one that really everyone is still working on. That's the ongoing journey, because I don't think I've ever met anybody that is completely free of that, of insecurity, of limiting beliefs, you know, and that is what makes manifestation for me a healing practice. And but you can still manifest even if you haven't, like, let's say, completed that step. You just have an awareness around it, and you're able to still find ways to build that self-worth and continue.
For sure. What do you think the difference is between dreaming and like daydreaming and manifesting?
I think the difference really lies in the action and like taking action. And I think that like manifesting gets such a bad rep. And I think that because of things like TikTok and Instagram, people like almost cringe at the word now, because it's, well, there's kind of 2 camps. In one sense, because, you know, it was, you know, manifest was like the 2024 Cambridge Dictionary Word of the Year. So it's like massive, right? And it's had this explosion. And when I started talking about manifesting and I first taught my 7 steps in Jan 2020, honestly, nobody I spoke to knew about manifestation. The people that did know really misunderstood it. And so in the last 5 years, or like 4.5 years, there's been this like huge growth in the word manifest, in its kind of like reach and awareness around it. But so that kind of gives you 2 things. In one hand, it gets people, half the people are like, oh my God, yes, I've been doing this thing, or oh my God, I can do this thing, and it's changing my life, and it's so transformative, and it's incredible. And then the other half of people are like, this is a load of shit. Like, I've seen all these TikTokers being like, oh, just say I'm lucky and you'll manifest. And it really devalues the whole practice. So sometimes when I meet people who I don't know, and I'm like, they're like, what do you do? And I'm like, oh, I'm an author, I write books. And they're like, what on? And I'm like, manifestation. I honestly, part of me cringes, because I'm like, oh no, they're going to think that Like they're going to misunderstand it, and I have to do some work. So sometimes I think I'm like the PR for manifesting, like doing damage control. But yeah, I think that really at its core, manifestation is about knowing what you want, about dreaming up your biggest goals and desires, and then doing the work that you need to do to make it happen. Like you can't think your way to success, you know, and I'm sure you know that better than anyone.
I appreciate that. And I'm fully aligned with that. I think a manifestation is fully misbranded. Yeah. Like a lot of things right now that become popular, they just, the wrong people with the wrong message jump on the bandwagon. It kind of dilutes the real message. Yeah. But also I think you're a walking ambassador for good manifestation, because you also look like a cool modern person like we can relate to. Yeah. Because sometimes I see people talking about like similar category things in manifestation. And I spoke about this with our friend Alex Icon. Yeah. But like with the huge hats and like the shaman outfits. And I just feel like we're so polar that like I don't see myself being able to get there emotionally and get there in my mind. Yeah. But when I see you and I hang out with you and we're at these dinners, it's like, oh, we're just all like pretty similar urban people involved in the same like modern life. You're not like on a mountain like doing ayahuasca all day. No. You know, well, like,
you know, I think I really appreciate that, because it was so part of my intention in the beginning that for me, my line has always been like, I want to make self-development cool. Like that's it. Like I want to make it something that people are proud of, that people are so like, yeah, oh my God. That's why the book, for example, okay, like when I came out with this cover, I wanted something that people would be so proud to show off, that they didn't want to hide it. They wanted it to be like this statement. And so my intention was, let me create something that's cool, that's aesthetic, that's well branded. And then it just so happens that 3 weeks after the book came out, Bella Hadid walked out of her hotel room with it clutched under her hand, and it was straight on Vogue. And I was like, fuck, you know, little things like that, they really were incredible and they mattered. And it became this like thing that people were tagging on Instagram. And for me, it was more than it just having like awareness on the book. It was being able to get people who maybe wouldn't have been interested in self-development to become interested. And that really is my passion, and my purpose is to teach as many people as possible that they can take power back in their lives and feel as good as they possibly can.
Yeah, I love that. I love that you talk about taking power back into their lives. And then earlier you mentioned the action involved. Yeah. Because I feel like another bad rap that the act and the habit of manifestation gets is like this like cringe caption that like I've seen 1,000 times, like, I don't chase, I attract. Yeah. You know? And I think like I don't chase, I attract is kind of like broken. Yeah. Because it's, the whole point is that you're chasing what you want. Right. With these processes in mind. Yes. How do you feel about I don't chase, I attract?
Okay, such a good question. So when you look at that as a statement initially, I can totally get why you're like, that's bullshit. Because what it could sound like is, I'm not going to chase you. I'm just going to stand here and wait for you to come to me. Yeah. And I imagine it's like a really entitled person that's like if I was to imagine that statement alone, you imagine like this entitled person that's like, come to me, bitches. 100%. You know? 100%. But actually, where it is really relevant and where I do kind of absolutely stand by the statement is that the act of chasing can become desperation. Yep. And desperation is something that's a real block to manifestation, because desperation comes from low self-worth, and we can't manifest what we don't believe we're worthy of receiving. So at its deeper level, that is absolutely a true statement. If you're chasing through desperation, you're not attracting. And so I kind of understand the sentiment, but I think when you look at it face value, it's giving the wrong message.
Okay, I love that. Thank you for clarifying.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Worries.
Now I'm happy to chase and not chase and attract. Yeah. That makes sense. Whenever you have these nuggets of knowledge and wisdom, I think, how does she come up with all these amazing things? Is it innate? And I know from my research and some of our conversations, hearing you speak, a lot of it's experiential. And you've gone through a lot of hard times to come up with a lot of these things, and you've had to pull yourself out of those moments with a lot of these thinking mechanisms. if you're okay with it, I'd
Yeah.
love to go back in time
Yeah.
to you growing up in Oxford
Yeah.
and growing to who you are today and growing to the role model that you've become today.
Well, in Oxford, so I'm fully Iraqi, both my parents are Iraqi, and we had moved from Saudi when I was like 6 months old. And my mom is like devout Muslim, and they were very, like we had a very strong Arab culture. So, we didn't celebrate Christmas. We ate rice every meal. My mom, wore a headscarf. And Oxford, it was like very white, very British. And as a young child, I definitely felt those differences really early on. I had olive skin and dark curly hair, and all the popular girls were blonde with blue eyes and pale skin. And so I felt different, and it definitely had an effect on my self-worth. But then things got bad in the Iraqi war, because after 9/11, basically Muslims were all terrorists, but then Iraq specifically, and all Iraqis were like the bad guys. And so I ended up basically getting like locked in a phone box by a group of girls, and they'd called me like Saddam, basically would like chant it at me, and like really traumatic things like that. And then I ended up moving schools. And when I moved schools, I was like, I have to dissociate from where I'm from. So I changed my name from Rowan to Roxie. And I used to lie and tell people I was from Jordan instead of Iraq. And I used to really embarrass my mom, like dropping me anywhere near school. And really what was happening was this like complete rejection of myself. And I think that many people can relate to this in some level, where they feel like a sense of shame about perhaps where they've come from, their sexuality, their upbringing, whatever it is. And that shame really stops us from being able to form this like positive self-image and build that self-esteem that we actually need to thrive in the world. And what happened for me was I started turning to, like, first I started doing like lots of like, basically developed like an eating disorder. I was like desperate for attention from boys. And then when I was 18, I discovered cocaine. And as soon as I had a line of cocaine and that false confidence that it gave me, I was like immediately hooked. And by the time I was 21, I was in Narcotics Anonymous. And I didn't give up then. I didn't give up for another like 8 years or 7 years. So you can imagine that like from 21 to 28, I was just fucking wild. Like I can't even tell you a single thing I did with my life other than going on like 3-4 benders a week till sun, and I was so depressed, obviously, because I was on a permanent come down. So it was one of these things where I was escaping what was like the true pain within me. So I'd feel good on a night out, and then as soon as I was on the other side of it, I was just at this kind of like real rock bottom. And anyway, I had tried to give up many times, and I was like, I'm going to change. And then in one of these kind of like, I'm going to change my life, I decided to book a yoga teacher training course in Koh Samui, Thailand. Okay. So it was April 2018. And obviously before I went on like a massive binge, of like everything. So I was like, this is my last time. And I got there like completely broken. I had this month away of like 200 hours of yoga, like hours a day of meditation, no access to my vices. I was also smoking like 25 a day at that point. Wow. So it's like everything was cut. And I was like, and I actually met this monk. Okay, and this monk read my palm. And he was like, oh my God, you've got this fork on your palm and you're here to like teach. And I was like, well, yeah, I'm going to teach yoga. So that's fantastic. Wow. And so so I got back from Thailand and I was like fully ready to like go into my new life.
How long were you there for?
A month.
Okay.
And and a friend of mine texts me and she's like, I've got this art gallery dinner opening tonight. Do you want to come? And I was like, yeah, sounds good. And she was like, meet me at my hotel. Anyway, she was actually staying at the Ritz. Okay. So I go in and I go to her room and it's like 4:00 and she pulls out a bag of cocaine. And she was like, do you want a line? And I was like, oh yeah, it. So that night I go for this dinner. I end up going to an after party with like these random guys I didn't know. Oh my God, I shudder. Then I go back to mine and I carried on my own. went for lunch with a friend of mine.
You hadn't gone to sleep?
No. Then we went to the hairdressers. I was like still doing lines in the hairdresser. Then I went out again that night, went home with some guy that I'd like dated a few months before, and then finally went to sleep like 2 days later, right? And I woke up from that and I was at rock bottom. I was like, oh my fuck, like I have made all this progress. Like I thought I was there and then I'm right back where I started. And I called a friend of mine, Sophia, and she is quite spiritually inclined. And I was like, babe, I don't know what to do with my life. Like, I'm never going to be happy. I'm a mess. And she was like, oh, babe, don't worry about it. Just listen to this podcast on manifesting. I just listened. And I was like, F it, I'll try anything. So then I listened to this podcast. And I think what really hit me about this podcast, it had basically said that your self-worth is sort of at the core of everything, of the reality you experience. And I was like, okay, I have no self-worth. So I'm manifesting, but in the wrong direction. And so I then went home and started researching manifestation. And I really quickly learned that basically if you like primed your subconscious and changed your beliefs about yourself, you would change what you attract into your life. And at the time I really wanted to meet someone. So I started playing these affirmation meditations for finding love like every night. And which was like, you know, you just fall asleep to it basically. And it's still a practice I do now because when you're falling asleep, your subconscious is really susceptible to positive messaging and when you're waking up. So I would listen to this podcast and it'd be like, I am ready for my soulmate. Like my perfect partner is on his way to me or whatever. Anyway, 2 weeks later on the 7th of June, a guy named Wade messaged me on Raya. And a year to the day, on the 7th of June 2019, our baby boy Wolf was born.
Wow.
So yeah, and then that's where it all began.
It's a big ad for Raya.
Do you know what? Actually, it's so weird. My friend was in Ibiza that summer, and he was in Ibiza that summer, and we went on his boat. And on the boat was the founder of Raya. And we were like, oh my God, we just met on your app. So we've got a picture of him like ordaining us.
Crazy.
And then obviously I wasn't pregnant then, but I was pregnant very soon after. And then when Wolf was born, they sent us like a blanket with Wolf on one side and Raya logo on the other.
That's hilarious.
I still have it. It's like his birth blanket. It's so cute.
That's amazing.
And when me and Wade decided to split, like we're really like happily co-parents. And I went back on Raya and I was like, I've kind of completed this. Like, where do you go from here? Like, I've had a baby from here. Also, imagine if I meet someone on there and I'm like, you know, the last time I was on this app, I had a baby. They'd be like, whoa,
You set the bar
whoa.
really high. That's so funny. I mean, thank you so much for opening up about that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry you had to go through what you went through
No, thank
to get to
you.
where you are today. But it's a beautiful outcome of a very
Absolutely.
rough past.
Absolutely. No, it was all worth it. And I wouldn't change a thing.
That transition where you listen to the podcast sounds like a big eureka moment.
Yeah.
Did you summarize that moment or was it actually that much? Like I listened to this podcast and manifested the father of my child and then everything changed that one day?
You know what? Like, yes, everything did change in that one day because I think then I began my journey into self-development and understanding myself and changing myself. But what actually happened was that after I met Wade, I was kind of like on this journey. I was still an addict. So I was trying to give up at the same time. I was actually secretly doing drugs on like all our dates. He didn't know at the time. And then 3 months after we met, basically, I'll just tell you the story. So we met on a date in London. We met at White City. And he was supposed to be in the UK for 2 weeks. And he had been traveling in a van around Europe for 3 months with his friend. He was in London for, no, not even 2 weeks, like 5 days or something. Anyway, so we meet and I was like, oh my God, I manifested you. And like, he didn't run, surprisingly. So I was like, okay. So we have this like 24-hour date. I'm like, oh my God, like it was amazing. And then he was like, I'm meant to go back to Australia. And he was like, it, I won't get on the flight. Let's just see what happens. So 5 days after we meet, he moves in. Then we spend the whole, it was that summer in 2018 where like every day was sunny, right? It was like insane weather. So we had this amazing summer and then he's like, right, it, I'm going to go to Australia, get my visa and move back here with you. And I was like, oh my God, great. Let's just see what happens. The day he gets back to the UK with his visa was in October, and I was 2.5 months pregnant.
Wow.
I found out that day he came back, and I was like, what the fuck? I was devastated because I was like, okay, whoa, I did not manifest this. Like, I wasn't working. Like,
over manifested.
I shot too high. I was like, because he had no money. Was not making any money. I was still an addict. So I had to give everything up suddenly. I was like, this is not what I had planned for myself, right? And because I suddenly had to give up everything overnight, basically all the pain I'd been escaping from for the last decade came rushing back. And I basically turned to food. So I like started binge eating. I gained 30 kilos,
Wow.
which is like 5 stone. I was like unrecognizable.
During pregnancy?
Yeah.
I don't know how pregnancy works.
It's a lot.
Is that a lot?
I look like a old Greek Cypriot man. It's the only way I can describe it. Like, honestly. But not only that, like I was so unhappy. Like my mental health was like, that was the darkest time of my life. Like it was the dark night of the soul. But
drug-free.
Drug-free. But a week before I found out I was pregnant, I had started something on my Instagram called Agni Aunt Sundays, where every Sunday I'd ask people to like write in their dilemmas and I would just give them advice. And I don't really know why I decided to do it, but I was just like, I'm learning all this stuff. I'm kind of on this journey. I've always loved giving people advice. I feel like I've always probably been like wise beyond my years. And I was like, it's like a nice thing to do and it's nice to give back. And then when I was pregnant and I was going through such an awful time, this Sunday like session became my purpose. It was like the thread that kept me going. And so I was like, this is what I want to do. I want to use all the pain I've been through to like help other people. And I would read and read and read as many self-help books as I could. I would listen to so many podcasts, motivational speeches on YouTube. And I would visualize when I have this baby, like I am going to make my life the best it can be. I am going to be a speaker. I was really inspired by like Brené Brown and Tony Robbins. And so it was through that real darkness that came this like complete rebirth. Like I always say, when I gave birth to my son, I also like rebirthed myself in a way. Yeah. And then from the day he was born, I was like, I just changed. That's when everything began. And when he was 5 months, I did my first ever workshop to like 200 people. No, not 200, 100 people in an old church that I spent like £200 on. It was so cute. And it all began from there.
I love that.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess necessity was a part of the growth.
Yeah.
Of you had to force yourself to do these things, which
Yeah.
otherwise would have been harder.
Yeah.
I have a lot of friends that have gone through had different relationships with addiction. Mm-hmm. A lot of them have had these like sort of eureka moments that they thought would be like, that's it, everything changes today.
Yeah.
But it rarely ends up being the case, where they end up like tiptoeing back and forth. And it's a very complex journey that they go with. But every once in a while, out of necessity, sometimes they just move somewhere. Like, for example, Dubai.
Yeah, it's a really good way to get over your addiction.
It kind of is, because
Yes.
like the drugs are so incredibly illegal there
Yeah.
that they just have no access.
Yeah.
And that story you said with your friends with the bag of blow,
Yeah.
it was like, that doesn't happen. Well, maybe it does, but like I think it doesn't happen as often somewhere like Dubai
No, of course
as
not.
it would in London.
Exactly.
So the temptations is non-existent. So I guess necessity and the prescription of like force yourself to be in a position where you have no access to it, like you did in Thailand and like you did with your baby.
Yeah.
It's like anti-relapse.
Yeah. But I think there's something bigger at play.
Yeah.
Because when I was pregnant, a part of me did think, oh, when I have my baby, I can't wait to go out on a bender again, right?
Fine.
And I think I know lots of people who have been pregnant, abstained from drugs and alcohol, and then as soon as they felt better after like breastfeeding or whatever, they've just gone back to their old habits. And the reason I didn't wasn't just because I became a mom, it's because I found a purpose. Yeah. And that became more important. And what I realized was part of that cycle of addiction was because I had nothing else to wake up for. I had nothing else to focus my energy on. Mm-hmm. I was so bored and lonely, and I had no focus. And so actually it was giving myself that sense of meaning in my life that really was the reason that I managed to give up. And now it's not like I'm sober. Like I do drink, I just don't drink a lot. Like I have 1 or 2 drinks. So yeah.
Yeah. No, thank you for sharing that. When my friends and people around me have a hard time relating to me because I've been like stone cold sober pretty much my whole life.
Right.
So if I tell them like, oh yeah, like maybe you should not, I just seem so alien to them.
Right.
Kind of like how the people with the hats feel alien to me when they talk about manifesting. Like I seem alien to them because they don't think I have the perspective necessary. Right. Like you don't know my relationship with this, so you can't understand. Therefore, your advice is meaningless to me.
Right.
And I think that's why your advice is so meaningful because you have the perspective. You've literally seen the extremes. And people who are going through these tough times where they need to manifest something, I think hearing about your struggle empowers them to actually overcome it versus just hearing about the process and the outcome.
Yeah.
I think the reason is as powerful as both.
Yeah. I think it's really important to be able to like relate to people. And I think a big part of why I'm always so open is because I know that when I've been struggling, there's actually nothing more comforting than hearing someone else who's gone through it and come out the other side. It's like, oh my God, okay, it's possible.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you think if you could have read your books as a student in Oxford, would that have possibly changed the outcome of your life?
100%. My books are life-changing.
I know they are. I know.
So yeah.
How did you have any figures or friends that tried to talk to you back then?
No, I really didn't. I think that was a big part of the problem was like the loneliness. And I was really lucky in that I had my brothers and sisters were like so kind and non-judgmental. And so like I would often like after a bender get like, I'd just like turn up at my brother's house at like 7 a.m. and be like, please let me sleep here. Because I just needed the like comfort, and they never judged me. They never they were so amazing. But a lot of my friends were also addicts without knowing it. This is the thing about London and other big cities. It's like, what's the line between someone that has fun a lot and someone that's got a problem? And I think that then there's always someone worse than you. So it's really easy to be like, well, I'm not as bad as that person. Or you've got friends being like, oh, you're not that bad. You're fine. Like, you're not doing it in the morning, as if that's the only way that you can be an addict. And so I didn't really have people around me to like turn to. And so that's why for me, finding people online, like speakers and philosophers, and that was where I found my inspiration, and that's where I found my comfort, because I didn't have that comfort in my life.
I love that you share that, because I really feel like we're so blessed in this generation to have access to like these friends that aren't our friends online. Like when I listen to a podcast, I actually feel like I'm sitting with the people, and it's actually part of my support system. So I completely agree with you. I think that the resources we have today and the amount of great ideas that are out there for us to digest like organically versus like reading books, which is not a very easy thing to do as a 21-year-old who likes to, do other things. You just play the podcast and go for a walk or whatever.
Totally.
That's a great part of our generation.
Yeah.
When did you realize that instead of just helping yourself, you could start to help others too?
Probably, I would say through the Agni Aunt Sundays, but then the first step I took was to do this workshop. So I didn't really know what I was going to speak about, and I didn't know how it was going to go, but I was just like, I'm going to do what I say in step 3, which is align your behavior, step outside your comfort zone, show up as the person you want to become. So I set this workshop up, and it's so funny because I tell this story in my latest book, Confidence, so I'll tell you now. So when you are public speaking, I mean, I'm sure you've done a lot of it, but like when you're in front of an audience, and I didn't know this at the time, but when people look at you, they look like this. They go like deadpan. They look either like bored or like they hate you. And that's just their concentration face. But I didn't know this at the time. And so in my first workshop, I remember there was this woman sitting in the audience and she had this pink tracksuit on, and she looked like she honestly like was having the worst time. Like she was death staring me, and I was so self-conscious because obviously it was my first ever workshop, and I was like, oh my god, is this like terrible? And when it was the interval, after the interval, she came back, and I was like, why has she come back? Like she clearly isn't enjoying this. Anyway, on the Monday I got an email and it said, hey, I came to your show on the weekend. I really loved it. And I was wondering if you did one-to-one coaching. I don't know if you remember me, but I was wearing the pink tracksuit. And it was
That's crazy.
Such a good lesson to me. Like, firstly, that like your inner critic is not to be trusted, that you never know what someone else is thinking, and that there's always another perspective to take. But more importantly, it really kind of like made me see like, I think this is what I'm supposed to be doing, and what I'm sharing is helpful and is resonating. And then I just went from there. And, you know, I get so much genuine joy and pleasure out of being able to support and help other people. I mean, at the time, my Instagram was much, much smaller. So I remember like a big part of how I grew was that I was so engaged with my community. I mean, there was not one DM that I did not reply to for like years. Unfortunately, like I can't do it now. But then I was like adamant, like I genuinely just wanted to help as much as I could.
Yeah, I love that.
This podcast is brought to you by Poubelles by the Gstaad Guy, bringing you charms hand-painted with enamel on 925 sterling silver, allowing you to express all the things you love and all the things you might question, from river bateaux to backgammon boards and caviar tins to paddle rackets. There is a Poubelle charm or completed set for everyone in the know. Thank you so much for watching and enjoy the podcast.
I guess a recurring topic on this podcast is this generalist versus specialist.
Right.
That today in our economy, in our world that we find ourselves in, which is like this multi-hyphenate generalist that does social media and runs businesses, but also, I mean, does public speaking and writes books on your side, and my side frowns and makes bracelets. But it's a very modern way of doing business. And in your case, it comes at an incredible privilege to your audience. I think 10, maybe even 20 years ago, you would have had to do a lot of that one-to-one coaching, where although it could have still been a sustainable business for you, it wouldn't align with your DNA of this abundance to all that you love to spread the word. And you would not have been able to stretch as far as you can today. So it's really an amazing thing that you can be a generalist and can speak to millions of people with all these different platforms.
It's funny as well, because in my second book, well, actually my fourth book, Confidence, I talk about embrace your slash, which is that I think that it's so easy to become defined by one part of ourselves, like our one identity, like I'm a lawyer or I'm a content creator or whatever. And actually, part of being able to be the best version of ourselves that exists means that we have to give space to all the different versions of ourselves, because we are, like, I always think with every single person you interact with, you're a different version of yourself. Like who you are with your family or your colleagues or your friends or your girlfriend, whatever, you're a different you in every version. And it's the same with the parts of ourselves. So I think embracing our slash, you can now be like a lawyer by day, but a DJ by night. You can be all these things. And actually, I think that's an amazing thing for us. And I think that we should be embracing it and flourishing in it and enjoying it.
I love that. This is actually a perfect segue to less manifesting, more confidence. I'd love to talk about confidence. I mean, it says that on your necklace. And also it's your new book. What is the transition from all your manifesting literature to confidence, and what does that mean to you?
Well, you know, I think confidence is the foundation of everything, and it is definitely at the core of manifestation, because we can only manifest what we believe we're worthy of receiving. And so for me, confidence is, I think there's this misconception that like some people are either confident or they're not. Do you know what I mean? Like it's this thing that you either naturally have, and actually I think it's something that you build. But more importantly than that, I think it's something that all of us can uncover, because I think deep down we all start off as confident people. Like if you look at kids, like I look at my son, right? God bless his soul. He is not the most talented when it comes to any sports, right? But if he calls it, when every time he plays football, he's like, I am the GOAT. And I'm like, I f***ing love you for this mindset, for this like real confidence. And like, you know, it's so cute. And we all start like that. We start with this like amazing confidence. We're unapologetically ourselves. We're not self-conscious. And then basically life happens to us. And to varying extents, we all come to believe one thing, which is that we are not enough as we are. And so we start molding ourselves into being what we think the world wants from us, our parents want from us, society wants from us, teachers, peers. And then we lose sight of who we are. And with losing sight of who we are, we lose our ability to be authentic. We lose that foundational sort of self-esteem that we need to really thrive in all areas of our life. And so I think that confidence is actually a journey back to ourselves. And I've kind of defined 8 really clear steps to do that in my new book. It's Confidence, 8 Steps to Knowing Your Worth. And much like the Manifest books, it's actionable. It's really easy to read, easy to understand, easy to implement. And you really do leave at the end feeling like you know how to come into your power.
I love that. When you mentioned that your son has this like unbounded confidence,
Yeah.
you said that we all start there.
Yeah.
Do you think that there are life experiences? So we start at 100, but then there's life experiences that bring that down.
Yeah. Absolutely, exactly. So it can start from a comment in the playground. It can start from your parents. And, you know, for parents, by the way, it can come in 2 ways. Our childhood and our caregivers and parents can affect us in 2 ways. So it could be that, let's say you had a mum who was always, you know, making sure that you had to dress a certain way. And so you assumed that like how you dressed was like really important and made you feel insecure about the way that you appeared or your presentation to people. Okay, but it might be that your dad always told you how smart you were over and over and over again. And so actually being smart became the thing that you pinned all your self-worth on. And so actually if you didn't feel like the most intelligent in the room, you couldn't feel worthy, right? So it can work both. It can actually have a negative impact if you're over praised for one particular thing. And so I think it can start there. It can start with like all the different traumas we can experience as children, and those are varying for all of us, but we all experience them. It can then be, you know, in your early teens. It can be the things that happen at school. It could be something that you watch in a movie or something you see online. Like it's coming at us from all angles. Like it's really no surprise that we end up so full of insecurities and limiting beliefs and all those things that so many of us struggle with. And it really is like a universal problem. And there's lots of stats in the beginning of the book, but I mean, Dove did the survey where it's like 75% of young women have said that they've avoided certain activities because they feel too insecure about the way that they look, which is insane, right? It's like they're actually missing out on life because of this low self-esteem. And I was definitely the same. You know, I can say that I missed out on so much of my life just because I didn't feel good about myself.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No, it's okay.
Are there any small things that you do that can give you a quick boost of confidence, or things that you keep in mind?
Yeah. Oh God, so many. So one would be affirmations. Okay. So affirmations, you know, you don't, for some people they think, oh my God, if I do an affirmation, I have to be standing in front of the mirror being like, you are beautiful. Doesn't have to be that. Okay. It can just be as soon as you wake up, I'm worthy of success. I'm excited for what's coming. I am more powerful than my fears and doubts. I'm resilient and strong. I can handle any challenges that come my way. Whatever. And you can use it to really like undermine those negative thoughts. So let's say you're going into a meeting and you're like, oh my God, I'm going to mess it up. I'm no good. It can really, you just say the complete opposite. So this meeting's going to go incredibly well. I'm going to show off as my best self. I'm confident in what I'm stepping into. And your subconscious can't differentiate a truth from a lie. So whatever you repeatedly tell it, it will start to believe to be true. And then it will always find evidence to make that reality true. So you really start to make your subconscious work for you when you repeatedly use affirmations. They're a really easy tool. Okay. Another one is called a power pose. So this is because of something called the embodied cognition effect. So it's true that the way that we feel impacts how we hold ourselves. So if you're feeling insecure, you'll likely be hunching your shoulders, you'll look down, you might speak quite fast, you might shuffle your feet, okay? But actually, it also works the other way around. The way that we hold ourselves affects how we feel. So if you hold a power pose for 2 minutes, and there was this research on it, and you basically stand straight, shoulders back, roll down, arms down in front of you, and you have this kind of like your chin is like level, and you're standing really upright. You can actually trick your brain into feeling more confident. So it's a really simple thing to do, especially if you're going into a situation that might make you feel nervous. What else? I think a part of it is constantly doing hard things. So that one of my steps is do hard things, because I think that a big part of confidence is not about feeling ready and feeling capable of everything. It's about knowing that you might fuck up, but still going for it anyway. It's not being afraid of failure. It's about showing yourself that you're more capable than you give yourself credit for. And every time you do something that challenges you, you build this like inner strength that is going to support you throughout your whole life.
I love that. Love all those things.
Oh, thank you.
So I'll be honest.
Yeah.
If I met you on a first date or matched with you on Raya, and I saw you've written all these books and written all these things, I'd be like, oh my God, I'm cooked.
Oh, right.
Right. This girl knows too much.
Right.
She's gonna know everything that's wrong with me on date one.
Right.
There's no way I can like try to act better than I am and hopefully maintain that like everyone does on a first date. Yeah. It's usually date 2 is a little worse than date 1. Yeah. And date 3 is a little worse than 2. Let's be honest. Everyone tries to be the best version of themselves on the first date. It's natural. But with you, there's no hiding anything. You know the whole thing.
Right.
How is it to date people, and are you as picky as I assume you are?
Yeah. Okay, this is so interesting that you say that, because I keep saying, I'm like, guys don't really slide into my DMs. And my friends are always like, sure, like, of course they do. And I'm like, I'm telling you, self-help isn't sexy. Like, a guy's not coming onto my page and seeing that I'm in self-help and thinking, that's hot.
I think it is, but I think it's wife hot. It's like if I can make it through stage 1 and 2, as a stage 3, it's amazing. Like, I think a self-help wife or long-term partner is the dream for every man, every person.
Oh, I see.
But is it the dream as a first date where she's going to call me out and realize that I'm an idiot? Then probably not.
I see. So maybe this is why I'm not getting the DM.
It's actually a good thing. You're filtering.
Oh, I see.
You're only getting the good ones.
Oh my God, true. I like this. It's true. I think, am I more picky? Yes. I think it's so funny because I'm kind of recently single. Me and Wade have been on off for like 7 years. We love each other so much. We're like best friends, by the way, and like spend all our time together anyway. So that in itself may be problematic, but
maybe.
Never mind. For another time.
Does he come on the dates?
No, you'd think. We might as well. No. Okay, so for example, like a year ago when we broke up, I would say in that time I dated someone, and I think much more quickly I recognize the red flags. So before, I would have seen a red flag and just like completely ignored it and just been like, who cares? I'm so enjoying the attention. By the way, I'm a Leo and a Sagittarius and Scorpio rising and moon. So I'm like triple fire. So like I love intensity. But interestingly, I'm also a really avoidant in love, like a really avoidant attachment. So I actually I get scared of like being too close, and not to give you like my whole fucking like history. But I've never loved the idea of one person forever. Like, it's not for me. I'm not looking for like a husband. But anyway, if I see a red flag now, I'm like immediately out. And that's a really interesting thing, because it does make things last a lot less time. And I can understand why, like, you're probably right in what you're saying, that, yeah, if I saw someone and I was like, oh no, like I would see through it and I probably would just like bounce. But I think that in many ways, and this is like me being just like really super honest, the thing that makes me pickier now than I was 7 years ago is now I don't need anyone. And I think that 7 years ago, I was so lost. I wanted someone to save me. And whether that I wanted someone that was like financially secure and could look after me and that I would probably be really like needy with. And now I don't need any of that. And it's a really weird thing because actually now I'm trying to figure out what I actually want, because I don't need anyone to save me. I don't need anyone, anything from anyone, but that can also be like a bad thing because men also need to be needed. I think, like a lot of them, there's like this. So I think I don't know what kind of guy will like find someone who's in self-help and also like independent, sexy. So I'll see.
I think the answer is a very confident guy.
Right.
Like, jokes aside, you're in the best position you can be in.
Right.
You're not looking for anything from someone else.
Yeah.
You are not willing to tolerate red flags,
Yes.
which you shouldn't regardless. And the only reason why people tolerate red flags is because I think they likely don't feel as strongly about themselves as they should.
Yes.
They're like, oh, they're not great, but I'm also not great.
Yeah.
So fine,
Yeah.
we're good enough for each other.
Yeah.
Which is a shame to think that way.
Yeah.
Maybe, of course, there are some things that are not great about ourselves we should work on.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I don't think we should tolerate red flags we see day one, because as we know, they always get more red
Yes.
as time goes on. They rarely
Well, I always
they
think
rarely
like
fade.
people show you the best them in the beginning.
Exactly.
So if at the beginning
not
they're
good.
fucking up,
Get out
like
of there.
imagine what it's going to be like on month 2. Like run.
Or year 2, or when kids and complexion comes into the
Yeah,
mix.
yeah.
So 100%. I'm fully aligned. I think just a confident man, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think for a man to be able to be with a woman that doesn't need him is a huge blessing. But it definitely requires a big ego battle
Yeah.
where it's, I'm with this person because we're building together and it's a partnership,
Yes.
and not with this person because I want to feel needed.
Yes.
And if you want to feel needed, and
Yeah.
that's like the thing you really desire, get a puppy.
Yeah.
Like, they literally need you to survive. Those things will die without you, you know? But like, no human's actually going to die without you.
Yes.
So if that's the emotion you're looking for, I think satisfy it with a puppy
Yeah.
and you'll be okay.
Great advice.
I think so.
And also, where do people meet people these days? Because I feel like, I don't know. I mean, I struggle with the apps. I mean, I've only gone on Raya and I'm like, oh, I can't even message someone back. It's like too weird, you know, because they text you and they're like, it's just like, how are you? Or like the lamest one liner, and you're like, come on. So I struggle with the apps. And then I think, oh, well, I don't really drink or go out anymore, so I can't meet someone on a night out. But then I think, well, I probably wouldn't want to meet someone on a night out anyway, because if someone's like partying loads, it's probably not going to align with my 9 p.m. bedtime.
It's true. Everything you've said, I'm aligned with. I haven't been on the apps. I mean, I tried the apps maybe like 6 years ago.
Yeah. You're not missing anything.
I know. I also don't go out nightlife much, so I don't really meet people at night. I'm so unlikely to date someone that I have no mutuals with, even just one.
Yes.
I need just at least one
Yes.
where I can make a call and say, tell me something I don't know.
Yes.
Not in a creepy background check
Scope
way,
it out.
but just
Kind of a creepy backdrop.
maybe a little bit of a creepy background check way. But like, I'm trying to just know as much as I can as fast as possible.
Yes.
I think good dating is walking away as soon as you can, if you're going to walk away, right?
Love that.
You don't want to go on date 4 if it should have ended on date 1. So waste of everyone's time.
100%.
You get
And this is overcome test from the universe. See, you are doing that step. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Nailed it.
So I'm happy. So honestly, I think like, for me, I speak to my sister and her friends about this all the time, especially because I do think it's harder to find a good guy than it is to find a good girl these days.
Yes. I couldn't agree more.
Sorry to the boys, but if I go to a random restaurant in London and I literally do this, like my finger will accidentally land 1 of 3 times on like a great girl.
Really?
I think so.
Wow.
Like head in the right space, working on herself,
Oh, I like this.
aware of her desires.
Yeah. Also, do you think part of that is because women now in general are more open to self-help and self-development? They're more open to working on themselves. Health and wellness is more trendy, so that it's not like 10 years ago where everyone's just like raging the clubs.
Yeah, I think that's a big part of it. I think so. I think also a part of it is men, myself included, are less in touch with our truth. And what I mean by that is we say we want X and we want it eventually, but do we want it now? We're kind of like, I don't know.
Expand on that.
Honestly, I think a lot of us are just like stupid monkeys, to be honest. And our timelines are different to women's.
Right.
And I think when women say they're ready for something, they usually are.
Right.
And when men say they're ready for something, they're usually lying. Honestly. And it's like,
Yes.
and we change our minds like 10 times a day about everything. And
Right.
I think so, honestly.
I also do think though,
But I'm 28.
men do. Are you really only 28?
Yeah.
Oh my God, stop.
Yeah.
Wow.
So maybe I'm just a young ape. And then I'll grow out of it.
Oh yeah, you got ages to think about that.
Yeah.
I think that also men do tend to tell women on the first date if they're not ready for something. But then
They should. But sometimes they lie and they have the wrong intentions with the right words and they hurt the girl's feelings.
Right.
I think honesty is the most important thing.
But the problem is a lot of women will ignore what they tell them.
Hey, open book here. Let's just have this conversation.
Tell me.
I have been through phases of life when I'm more serious and been through phases of life when I'm less serious.
Yes.
And when I'm less serious and I meet a girl and I say, by the way, I'm in a phase right now where I'm not so interested in anything serious.
Yeah.
Just want to put this out there. Date one. Just so you know.
Very good of you.
30% walk away.
Yeah.
Happy for you. You know what you want. You should walk away.
Yeah.
30% say, I'm in. Also great. We're aligned.
Yeah.
30% say, I bet you I can change that.
Yeah.
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
Because that's where there's the gray area mismatch of expectations and reality. And those are the ones that usually end up with like someone feeling awkward or hurt even.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know? So
Yeah.
aligned.
It's true.
I think the best place to meet new people is actually to create an environment with people who are value aligned, gender agnostic. Like just put a room together of people that you would want to be your new friend group.
Right.
And a great example of this is Mimi and Alex Icon's dinners.
Yes.
Like that room is people that are value aligned with me.
Yeah.
And I would love for my future partner to be in that ecosystem or at least be able to like navigate that space.
Yeah.
The conversations they have, the time of day, the location, it all matters.
Totally.
So through friends and through like just moments that are aligned with who you want to become, I think is the best way.
Yeah.
Going to a members club that you don't like to meet people you likely won't like.
Totally.
Is not really the place.
It's so funny. My friend yesterday said to me, she texted me and was like, I think you should go. I went to this Intelligent Change Summit, which is obviously Alex's.
It's amazing.
And she was like, there were so many hot guys there. The kind of guy you're looking for is probably at something like that.
Are you going this summer?
I'm actually not. I
I
can't.
spoke there twice. It's amazing.
I've heard.
It's really cool.
But it's soon. It's like next week
It's
or
in
something.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
You should go.
I know.
But yeah, that's I think the best way is through friends and through life.
Yeah.
Are there questions you ask people on a first date always to try and...
No, I haven't been on a first date. I haven't been on a first date for so long.
Oh, really?
The last one I went on was a long time ago, like a year ago. And oh my God.
Do I know him?
No. But I went on it and we were texting before and I was like, he's cute. Like we have lots of mutual friends. And he had like 3 tequila shots and 2 gin and tonics in an hour. And I had like sipped on one drink and I was like, I don't think this is going to work. And he'd also told me about all his abandonment issues and how he like leaves everyone when he gets too close. And I was like, probably should just leave this now. And it was like so easy because I was in a place in my life where like 7 years ago, I would have ignored it and just been like, F it, let's just go on a second date just so I can like validate my ego. Whereas actually I was like, it doesn't matter. And actually it's so funny because I then saw him again and he was like, you are the first girl that's ever left a date in all the years I've been alive.
What are your non-negotiables?
Okay.
À la poubelle, as I would call them in my lingo.
Of course.
What are your à la poubelles?
Okay. Heavy drinking.
À la poubelle. And aligned. My wife is sober.
Yeah.
Or close to it.
Okay. I love this. Wifey. I like it when you say wifey.
Wifey.
Oh, I love that. So cool. Okay. Talking about how busy and successful he is on the first date.
À la poubelle.
Yeah, no. Wearing flip-flops.
À la poubelle. Is that a thing? People wear flip-flops
might.
on their first date with you?
They won't now.
Okay, fine. What if you're in the Maldives?
Acceptable.
Fine.
Just go barefoot, actually.
I agree.
Right.
I actually made a video about being barefoot in the Maldives.
Oh, there we go. Aligned.
I like that.
Okay. Talking badly about his ex-girlfriend.
Yes. Can he bring up his ex-girlfriend?
Yes, absolutely. But trashing your ex-girlfriend, not a good sign.
Fine.
No.
À la poubelle.
Thank you.
Trashing anyone at all, actually, right?
Yeah, just negative complaining, any kind of complaining, bad vibes.
Their boss,
Nah,
the cab driver who flipped them off on the way there.
Nah, yeah.
No
done.
yapping, negatives.
Oh, got another one. Okay, so complaining, moaning, rude to the staff.
À la poubelle, always.
Always. Already telling me how busy they are so that they're setting me up for how much they won't. Like if a guy was like, yeah, I'm really concentrating on work at the moment. It's going to be really busy 6 months ahead.
I'll only see you after 11.
Yeah.
On Wednesdays.
Yeah.
À la poubelle.
And if they don't text you within the first 24 hours of the date, we're gone.
Within the first 24 hours of the date?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there a good time of day to text someone as well? When the sun's up?
Do you know what I love? I'm texting someone at the moment who texts me in the morning and I'm into that.
I like that too.
I'm very into that.
like
Good
it too.
morning text is so much cooler than an evening text.
I think
It's
actually
more
daytime
confident.
dating as well is a great thing.
Do you?
I think so.
What would be your ideal daytime date? Drinks
First
or
date?
dinner? Yeah.
I mean, I don't do drinks because I'm sober. And it's creepy to take a girl drinking when I'm having a water. It's like super weird.
Yes.
So I will go to, ideal first date is like coffee and walk.
Cute.
And always daytime. I think no matter how gentle and kind a man can be, the daytime works by your side to not come off as slimy ever.
Interesting.
In the evening.
But do you think it's as easy? Because I've never done a daytime date, right? Because my majority of my dating happened when I was insane. And do you think, I've always wondered, like, because people often say this, they're like, go for like a nice walk or like something chilled. But do you think it's quite hard to find like a sexual chemistry when you're doing that?
I'm never looking for that on the first date.
Interesting.
Yeah. I'm always looking to actually build a friendship, date one.
Yeah.
And actually, I don't even consider it a date. I actually want to nearly friend zone date one and learn as much as I can about the person.
Yeah.
And make them think like, is even into me? Because the answer is, I don't know if I'm even into them. So I don't want to pretend like to be all romantic because it's fake.
Yeah,
like I can't be all romantic on a first date. It's a first date.
Oh my God, I like this.
You know? So first date has to be just friendly because I have to just get to know the person on a friendly basis. Talk to me about your ex. Talk to me about whatever you want to talk about, just so I can gather as much information as possible date one.
Okay, I like
and get a vibe
this.
for you.
Yeah.
And if we do somehow progress somewhat romantically, then date two, we can go on a beautiful dinner and of course all those things.
Yeah.
But I think for a date one, just to get to know the person.
Yes.
Keep it casual, keep it friendly. Daytime, no creepiness of like, oh, let me drive you home. And is he going to kiss me in the car? The whole thing is going to, date 2, 3, 4, fine, of course.
Right.
Do the goodnight kiss, do the whole thing.
Yeah.
But on a date one, it can easily come off as like, what are his intentions? Does he think I'm that type of girl? But if you're just going for a walk at noon, there's no, does he think I'm that type of anything?
That's so nice.
So I think that's the move.
I like that.
Okay, what about Fantastiques? Like just chef's kiss. If he does this, you're going to call up the girls and say, can you believe this guy is, he's a gem. He did this thing.
Okay. So I think pre-date is just like being forthcoming about like being like the one who takes control of the situation.
Fine.
And just being like, here are some days I'm free. Are you free on any of those? This is where we're going.
Perfect.
Forthcoming.
Organized, forthcoming.
Taking
Fantastic.
initiative. Yeah.
Love it.
All chivalry. Opening the door, walking on the side of the street, nearer the road. All those kind of little things, I think, are just
Fantastic.
absolutely. Asking lots of questions. I think like the best thing a guy can do is be a good listener. And men so rarely are. Like, I think it's really easy, just in my experience, this is not all men, but it's so, it's rare enough that when you meet a guy that is genuinely asking you questions, interested in your life, it's so attractive and it's so nice. And you're like, oh, wow, they don't just want to talk about themselves. So being a good listener and asking lots of questions.
Nice. Follow-up questions.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Love that. How do you feel about the question, how about you? Because some people feel differently about it. They're like, I don't want to have this same back and forth again. Change it up.
Yeah.
I'm curious.
As in just saying, how about you?
Yeah. Like to
the
everything.
end.
Like just to get your...
Yeah. No. We can do better than that.
I think so too.
There's so many good podcasts on how to be a good conversationalist.
It's true.
Listen to some.
Good idea. Okay. Fantastic.
Vanessa Van Edwards actually did a really good one of Diary of a CEO.
Yeah.
And it's good for anyone listening that needs some
These
tips.
tips. I love Diary of a CEO.
Oh, it's
Stephen
so
Bartlett
good.
is
It's so good. Good sense of humor.
Okay.
Key,
Yeah.
obviously. I think who doesn't? And someone that seems genuinely like kind and respectful to all people. You know, like when you see someone that's like really kind to the people that work wherever you are, or who are letting, like, I don't know, helping an old lady across the street.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Just kindness is a part of their DNA.
Yes. And you
they're
just
not trying to
see
get
it.
something from you.
Yes, exactly.
I agree with that.
Yeah. And good taste. I do think, for me, dress sense is key.
Okay. Fantastic.
Yeah.
At dinner on the
Yeah.
first date,
Yeah.
what is the percentage split of conversation categories that you think is ideal? Like half jokey, goofing around,
Yeah.
half deep and about your life story.
Oh, interesting.
Do you want to talk work? Do you want to talk shop?
To be honest, I love my job and I love business and I love work. So if I could talk to someone who understood and was interested, I would find that very sexy.
Okay.
I think that the deep conversation is also key. Like, I really think it's a way of really connecting with someone and building that kind of like deeper attraction. And then it's also good to have like fun. So I would say like 30-30,
Okay. Nice.
33-33.
Okay. I think a lot of men, when they hear about a problem, like to throw in advice. Sometimes solicited, often
Yeah.
unsolicited.
Yeah.
How do you feel about advice versus listening?
I think that because it's so well intentioned and it's just what men go to do, I think it's fine. I think if it is that you just want to be heard, you need to tell people at the beginning, like, I've got this problem. Don't worry. I don't even want to know what to do about it. Let me just tell you.
Yep.
And just listen. Because I think sometimes if we expect someone to give us something that is not natural to them, but we haven't asked what we need, it's unfair to then be annoyed with them for it. Do you know what I mean?
Fine. Makes sense. Great.
And I have to ask, because seeing as you're giving me my dating advice now.
Am I? I think you're giving me the advice.
Well, I don't know. I think it's a two-way advice street and I love it.
We're just gathering information.
We're gathering.
Yeah.
I have a kid. And what do you
Yes.
think from a guy's point of view? Like because the other day was texting this guy and it was like, I realized I hadn't mentioned that I have a kid. And I was like, oh yeah, I've got like a little boy, he's nearly 6. Because when I speak to Wade about it, Wade's like, I was like, you know, what if a guy's put off by the fact that I have a kid? He's like, I think that's way less likely for a guy to be put off by it than a girl because of different stages of life and stuff. What's your opinion on it? Would you be put off by someone having a kid?
I think put off is the wrong word,
Yeah.
but it would definitely be something I would consider. I think when choosing a partner, it's always just like this weighted scale of decision making, right? It's like everyone's going to have some flaws.
Yeah.
And everyone's going to have some challenges, and everyone's going to have some things to deal with.
Yeah.
But do the pros outweigh those challenges, right? Being with someone that already has a kid has so much beauty, but undeniably has so many challenges.
Yeah, for sure.
Am I in the state of mind where I can manage those things? Maybe. And is she's so right as a partner to me in the other categories where I'm so happy to go for that burden?
Yes.
So the answer to that to me is it depends on the mother and the girl.
Yeah.
So am I willing to be with a girl who's a mother? Yes. As long as that challenge is worth it in all the other categories.
Yeah.
So I think that knowing about it first and foremost is totally fine, because you'll get rid of the guys that it's a non-negotiable for, which is fine. It's non-negotiable for guys and girls for whatever reason. But for people who are open to it, like I have a friend of mine who's dating a girl 10 years older than him with 2 kids.
Right.
And the kids have brought him so much happiness and love. Like he's the happiest guy in the world because she has kids.
Oh my God, that's so cute.
Yeah, he's like obsessed. He's the happiest guy in the world. So I
That's
think
so
some men look for it as
yes.
well, you know?
Yeah.
So-
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it depends on the right guy.
Yeah, yeah. Interesting.
A lot of my friends have kids.
Oh, really?
Most of my friends are older than me.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I have one friend who's 34, 4 kids.
No. Wow.
He's been with his wife since he was 15.
Oh my God.
It's
How
the
old's
coolest
the
thing ever.
oldest?
The eldest is 12.
Oh my God. That's so cute.
it's really,
Do
really
they
cute.
love it?
They love it.
Oh my God, how fab.
And he's like the most, like, bring the kids everywhere dad ever.
Yeah.
Well, they're the most bring the kids everywhere parents.
That's
And
so cool.
it's so cool. She like sits at dinner with us and we're talking about
my
like
God.
everything, and she
So
just hears
chic.
everything.
Oh
It's
my
very
God, I
chic.
love it.
And they're based in Gstaad.
Oh, fab.
Even more
better.
chic. Even more
Even
chic.
better.
Well, I want to continue my learning on the Roxie journey. I'll start with the 7 steps of manifestation book. I'll move on to confidence.
Yeah.
What else can I do? Where can I learn more?
Yeah.
Just a little bit every day.
So I have my podcast, Rise with Roxie. So
Rise
I
with
have
Roxie.
amazing guests from Jay Shetty,
Okay.
Tara Swart,
Love that.
like amazing guests and experts.
What should I do while I listen to your podcast?
Go for a walk,
Yeah. Daytime walk.
daytime walk,
Pre-work?
fresh air. Oh yeah, while you're on the commute to work,
Love that.
do your listeners commute or do they go with their driver?
My listeners probably, I think I have a lot of get ready with me listeners
Yeah.
who are getting ready for dinner.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
they'll put it on YouTube.
yes.
So there's probably a girl out there doing her makeup right now.
I love this.
You look great.
You look stunning. Just smash it.
You look great. I
Look
think
out
there's
for
a
the
lot
red
of those.
flags.
I think exactly. I think there's a lot of those.
Yeah. So Rise
okay.
with Roxie,
Morning Rise with Roxie. How long are the episodes on average?
about an hour.
Perfect.
Yep, perfect. And I have live shows that are coming and going. They're always there, usually to about 1,000 people. So it's a really fun environment. And that's it. Yeah, for now.
Perfect. Well, I'll tune in. I'll be there.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being
Thank you. This has been
on the
so
podcast.
lovely.
It's been
Talked
so
about
fun.
so many things I haven't spoken about before.
Really?
Yeah, so many, like dating, and been very honest about things. It's
You've been so open.
lovely.
Yeah, thank you
Yes.
so much.
No, thank you. It's been
Appreciate
amazing. Yeah.
Manifestation, fantastique. And not manifestation, or not manifesting, à la poubelle.
Yeah. I love it.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Gstaad Guy podcast. If you're keen to learn more, please follow along by engaging with our social channels on Instagram, TikTok, Spotify, YouTube, and Apple Podcasts. And we look forward to seeing you next week. Merci beaucoup, à la prochaine, and a big hug from the Gstaad Guy.